Cannot her face very funny.
Not her face.
Don't
It's not her
blame
face.
people.
Then everybody's face. Those who have face on go out.
Our designers are given an image of a living room. They can design it freely with only one requirement. With their designs completed, our designers will meet, share, and explain their design.
Hi, I'm Hazel. Generally, right, I like to do like a wide variety of designs lah. But recently, I think I'm leaning more towards wabi-sabi. But however, I feel that recently, there's not much Singaporeans that are very keen towards this kind of design lah. So if anyone that is interested, do look up for me.
Okay, hi, I'm Theron. So I tend to do more Scandinavian designs. I mainly use furnishing and lighting to bring out the character of the owner and the space.
Hello everyone, I'm DJ. For myself, I like to understand the clients based on their habits, lifestyle, because that to me is timeless. It's something that hardly can change. You can't change your habits over time. And with that, then I'll marry together the rich array of material, finishes, laminates, paints, to actually bring out your ideal home to realization. Yeah?
Yeah, ready.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, nice.
Make some greens, Yeah,
Interesting.
mine's like a lot of colors. Oh, yours very old school, eh?
Yeah.
Like my Ama's house, eh?
Yeah, Amma house.
For mine, my challenge was biophilic design. So I need to incorporate some sort of natural elements into the space. So for floor-wise, I picked the tile from Hafari. You can feel it's slightly rougher in texture. So this one comes in 1002, 1002 size. That's why I decided to go ahead with this sort of tiling to give a more textured feel for the floor. For the wall-wise, right, I tried to retain the existing column here. Then I brought it out a bit. So this one and the back of these two areas, I try to use back the existing structure to create the depth. These two walls, I use micro cement to coat it. So it has this more natural finish to it, like a more unfinished raw look. Painting wise, I painted the wall in this slightly off-white cream color. It's called Chalk from Nippon Paint. Because with the dim lighting, it will tie in better. Then the rest of the wall are just micro cement textured.
So my design, I think you all can tell, actually it's a 70s psychedelic design. So first thing comes to mind is trip down memory lane and also a very trippy design. So I took a liberal sensual design approach with hints of abstract fluidity and pops of colors. So for the flooring wise, you can see living room floor is actually fluid, circular, and it's a bit raised to actually demark the space. The finishing wise is actually from Floor Expert vinyl tile. These are one of the latest Muse collection. It's a terracotta print to give that aged look. And for the back of the wall tile, you can see this feature wall. This is from Hafari. These tiles come in the mirrored varied design. You can choose different non-identical tiles to actually produce this dynamic design for your wall feature. The other material selection for a wall panel over here, just at the window side, is actually from Admira. This is their latest, one of the newest to the residential project space is a Cerarl panel. It's a fiberglass wall panel, very suitable for wall features and many useful applications. Painting wise, a bit different from Theron's muted look. There will be still a hints of cream. This is from Nippon, Autumn White series. And of course, the most striking will be the ceiling. Of course, the false ceiling I did another circular fluid design. And this is actually mirrors of stripes to give you that psychedelic, trippy feel.
As for mine, right, my obstacle is actually culture-inspired theme lah. So for me, I decided to go with something that is like more old school. So it's like Singapore old homes lah. Yeah, so as you can see, right, from the flooring itself, I actually chose broken marble. So for broken marble, right, I think you can really see in Singapore already lah. For the wall itself, there is two things I actually used. So firstly, right, I use this tile from Hafari. So it's actually like a smaller version tile that is 100 by 100. It's slightly matte lah. The reason why I chose this color is also because I wanted to add like some green element into the unit as well. Yeah, and then for the entire wall, right, I actually used a lime wash paint. I wanted to create like a more rustic look lah, but however, I wanted to incorporate something that is more modern. So I used lime wash instead of like the usual micro cement or like the cement way of like doing it lah. Lastly, for the windows, I actually added window grills. Yeah, so these window grills is actually something that is more retro looking that you can often see in shop houses.
So the main carpentry work that I've done, I created like a dry pantry area. That's solely for like coffee machines, kettle. Over on this side, I did some low height carpentry. Then I used the existing recess, the niche area of the wall, to create like a small shelf, to add some lighting elements also. The other areas for carpentry, it's over here. I'll just do a very thin shelf for, you know, your TV or your TV box, that kind of thing. Yeah, you can place it over here. So for carpentry wise, I picked the color. More muted, less grainy laminate, dark mode walnut from Admira. So it's a more consistent grain and it's not so distracting. Next, to match the laminate, this is from Vulcan. This is like the sintered stone surface. Something more rustic. Not much built in. It's more of mending the walls and creating this niche only. The last one is just a small platform to separate the spaces.
Okay, so different from Theron, as you can see, actually my carpentry is opposite direction of consistency. It's actually finding harmony amidst all the pops of colors. So with that, I will show you the myriad of colors that is selected. Same thing for Admira. All the way from torch red, marigold. These are very vibrant colors that actually echoes my design theme of psychedelic 70s design that you can see used throughout this display and storage cabinets, the wine display. And over here, you notice this looks like a backdrop. Actually, this is done in a curved sliding door that actually opens up to reveal actually storage opportunities behind the sofa. And how to achieve this mirrored look? Same thing. I got this black mirror from Admira to actually achieve this concealed away but huge storage potential. And the other thing that, of course, to add on to the vibrancy, the sliding glass panels here are actually pink tinted glass with gold frames to actually tie in the whole colorful pops together. Last but not least, you have a TV console over here. Same language of actually being a curved TV console, and just tucked away at an unconventional corner just beside the window. That ties in my whole carpentry works for the living room.
Okay, as for my case, right, as you guys can already tell from my render, it looks really quite plain because the actual look that I'm actually going for is like old retro look, right, vintage. So what we do is that we don't actually do a lot of built-ins lah. So in this case, we try to keep everything minimal. And the only carpentry that I actually inbuilt in this case is actually this low height cabinet right over here underneath the window area lah. So this cabinet, right, is just like a very simple old cabinet that has like drawers and casement door. The one that I chose is this Admira one, a dark walnut shade. It's actually quite rustic looking lah. Yeah, so that is actually the reason why I chose it, because it matches the loose sofa, coffee table, and as well as the dining table.
So for finishing, right, since I picked the dark walnut laminate, right, it's also to match all the chairs and table. Here I plan to use maybe a like circular table, no sharp edges. Then for this sofa, like generic sofa would match, like maybe a grey sofa to match the theme, and a side table attached alongside the sofa. Then lastly for lightings. Yeah, lightings here actually I plan to do like a skylight. So this skylight actually stretches over all the way to the other side of the house. This one is to bring in a bit of biophilic elements, so it looks like it's daytime, yeah. And the ceiling looks like endless, you know, because our HDB ceiling quite short. Yeah, so this is the skylight. Then to pair for lighting, I use very gentle lighting. So these two are like Gifu lamps. So they are made from like washi paper. When you on the light, there'll be a mild pattern on the walls. I use very little like ceiling lights, creates this gentle, subtle, warm feel.
Okay, for mine, so the same choices of pop colors and actually fluidity permits to my choice of furnishing and lightings itself. So in living room furniture, you can see also just choose some loose and low-lying furnitures that you can actually feel free to be flexible around the layout. And I have a huge, nice carpet also to resonate with the kind of lifestyle that, you know, come home to the living room, just no need to sit, you can lie down on the floor, look at the ceiling. That's why the ceiling also have this nice undulating gold coating over lah. So it makes you wander off into space. And over here, you'll also see that, of course, importantly, you have a bar counter, bar display, and portable bar counter so that you can achieve their state of mind faster. Even the TV itself also is an unconventional installation, a ceiling curved TV, so that you can probably have a track. You know, when you lie here, you can choose to, just nice, the angle is just nice, you look at TV, or you lie like that, and you just rotate the TV. You can view at every angle to actually promote that kind of a chill, psychedelic lifestyle.
For my case, right, it's actually like just a very simple loose furnishing lah. So as you can see, it's just like a small little dining table that can fit 4 people, and a coffee table and a sofa lah. So the sofa is like a leather, off-white leather, and with like wood frame lah. The furnishing, right, is actually very similar color to the laminate that I chose previously. What makes the entire furnishing very on point, right, is actually the standing fan lah. Not gonna lie. Yeah. So that is like one highlight to this unit. For the ceiling itself, I actually put flower cornice all around lah. Yeah, so you can see lah, from the old houses that you always go, there's always like this old flower cornice all around. Yeah, so I think that is also the beauty of it. And as for the ceiling light, I think you guys will say like a bit obiang lah, but because old houses we don't do false ceiling ma, so it's always like those exposed ceiling light. So this is like those old school ceiling light that we use, and just a normal hanging light lah.
So when I was designing this place, I think it's more calm because this design is gradually getting more popular nowadays. I think the most recent example you can see is Jewel. With so many good examples, I think slowly I came up with something like this. Yeah, so it's not so stressful.
For myself, the main challenge is that it's a design that is rare to come by. So I mean, the challenge turns into an opportunity for me to actually explore the whole palette of colors, materials, and how to balance so that these different pops of colors doesn't clash and just glue together.
For me, I don't think there's like any challenge, but how I really like overcome and get this entire piece of like render, right? Because I always go to my ama house, right? So these are the things that I commonly see lah. Although this is like a very old school design, which I don't often do, but however, due to the challenge that I actually gotten, right, which is a culture inspired design, it actually pushes my limit to recreate like this entire piece of render.
Thank you everyone for watching this episode of Designing Homes. A very big thank you to all of our sponsors.
So if you're interested in the materials and products used today, please check out the link in the description below.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned to our next episode. Bye!